Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for coming, and I want you all to know that I appreciate you guys. I do. Today I'm coming to you with the story about AJ Owens, Ajinka Owens, who was crossed over tragically by this lady here, Susan Lawrence, and they did finally initiate an arrest in this case. They were basically trying to look at whether or not it was a stand your ground case, and she was never even taken in for her crossing over of this young lady who we'll call AJ, or that's what her nickname was, AJ. Guys, and this happened while her 9-year-old son stood next to her at this lady's door. Apparently, from what we're learning, the lady had been giving the children a hard time, using racial slurs, calling them the N-word, and she was upset because they had been playing in her field and she didn't want them there, in a field. Not sure whether it was hers or not, and she did not want them there. And the child, one of the children, the 9-year-old that was standing next to the mom, they say went to her door after she threw a skate at him and hit him on his foot. In a newscast, it explained the situation as to what led up to the crossing over and what ultimately led up to Miss Susan Lawrence being arrested.
To a Florida mother of 4 who police say was shot to death by a neighbor. That woman is now in custody as the family of Ajinka, also known as AJ Owens, demands justice. Victor Oquendo is there in Florida for us with this story. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Robin. The sheriff's office says they've been working around the clock ever since the shooting, which happened just behind us, conducting interviews, reviewing evidence and surveillance, and ultimately determining that the suspect's actions were not justifiable under Florida's Stand Your Ground law.
Overnight, a Florida woman accused of shooting her neighbor, now in police custody.
Tonight, we have arrested 58-year-old Susan Lawrence for the killing of Miss A.J. Owens.
Lawrence was arrested and charged with manslaughter for the shooting of mom of 4, Ajinka, A.J. Owens, when she knocked on her door. According to police, on Friday, a group of children were playing in a field next to Lawrence's home. One of A.J. Owens' children forgot their iPad and went back to retrieve it. Lawrence allegedly threw a pair of skates at the child. Owens then approached Lawrence's home and was shot through the door as she knocked. The 35-year-old pronounced dead at the hospital.
I saw her laying down on the ground, and that's when I went in and I started doing scanning for open wounds.
Franklin Colon heard the gunshot and ran out to help Owens.
Has she lost a lot of blood?
She did, yes, sir. You could see the blood on the ground.
Authorities arresting Lawrence days after the incident once they determined Florida's Stand Your Ground law, which heavily depends on a presumption of fear, did not apply. The Owens family attorneys are calling for the law to be eradicated.
It does not apply in all situations, and this situation is a prime example of when it was not justified. It was simply a killing.
My daughter, my grandchildren's mother, was shot and killed with her 9-year-old son standing next to her. She had no weapon. She posed no imminent threat to anyone.
On Twitter, Owens' family calling Lawrence's arrest pivotal.
Tonight was a pivotal moment with the arrest of the perpetrator who shot and tragically killed my daughter.
The manslaughter charge carries a penalty of up to 30 years in prison, along with charges of culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault. This morning, one neighbor here calling the news of an arrest a relief. Guys?
Now, guys, you saw that report in another interview that I saw somewhere else. It was saying that the kids were playing outside, and the lady came out and said things to them, made racial slurs, and told them to go away. And it was something about an iPad. And when the little boy went back to retrieve his iPad, that the abuse continued. and this is alleged. They're basically saying that when the boy and his brother, AJ's son and his brother, went to the door after she threw the skates and hit him. They went to the door and, to ask her why did she do that. I'm going to say, and the lady pulled out an umbrella and swung the umbrella at them as though she was going to hit them. Now I can understand that when your 9-year-old child come home and tell you that this happened, that you might want to go and speak to her and find out what the true story is. Although that it is being said that, this had been going on for a couple of years, that the lady had been giving the children a hard time for a couple of years. But, I would probably get up and go next door and ask them, to talk to her and ask her what exactly happened and what the problem was. So I could know both sides of the story before I made a judgment. And maybe that's what AJ was doing. I can't say. I don't know. I wasn't there. But they're saying that when AJ got to the door and knocked on the door, that Miss Lorenz actually pulled out, I'm going to say the Roscoe is what we say, and AJ was unexpectedly, hit in the chest and taken to the hospital where they were unable to revive her and she crossed over. And there was another neighbor who came out and said that he actually went and tried to administer help to her, but that, it was actually too late. Now, they're saying because of the stand your ground law in Florida, that this lady, Ms. Lorenz, was not taken in. And the sheriff, Billy Woods, said that he wanted to make the arrest that same night, but that because, there was a possibility that the stand your ground law could be used, that they have specific rules that they have to follow. And one of the rules is that they cannot immediately arrest the person. Which sounds kind of not right to me, because I just feel like if that was a reverse, that the lady would have been taken right in immediately, and stand your ground would have come after bail and after an attorney was hired. I don't think that they would have just let that been the opposite way, that if Ms. Lorenz had went to AJ's house and AJ had done this, that they would let AJ stay at home until they determine whether they would stand your ground or not. I just don't think so. I could be wrong. Now they're saying that it took 4 days for them to actually bring her in, and that she was, charged with a couple of counts that will be time serving if she's actually convicted of it, and don't be given some type of very, very, very lenient plea deal, guys. And they said she's looking at up to 30 years. So, guys, it's so much going on that I guess we just are at a loss of words, because it's like every day is something else going on. And every day is like somebody else is being unnecessarily crossed over. Now, I don't think that Ms. Lorenz is going to be able to say that she feared for her life because she was behind a closed door. And as the mother said, there was no imminent danger there. So, to stand your ground don't count. And since the arrest has been made, the Sheriff Woods is saying that the stand your ground will not be considered in this. So we are going to keep an eye on this, guys, on this case, and see where it goes. We're gonna keep an eye on it and see what happens. And I'll come back to you with updates on this beautiful, beautiful lady, Miss A.J. Owens, who actually is the mother of 4 children, and now she's gone, guys. Keep that family in your prayer and pray for those children who has lost another mother. This is the second story I've done today about children who's lost mothers. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you so much for stopping by. Those of you who are my current subscribers, you guys know how I feel about you. You know I got so much love for you, and I thank you so much for being my support system, because I've had some frustrating days, guys. And if you are new to the channel, or is this your first time here, come and join us. We are a family, and you join us. If you find the videos interesting and you are watching them, go on, subscribe to the channel by hitting that subscribe button, hitting that notification bell. If you want the stories immediately and the updates immediately, hit the notification bell. Also, please, please, please like the video, because it moves it up in the rankings and it puts it in the algorithm, and it allows other people in other places to be able to see it. And I have people in South Africa, and I have people in Australia who are subscribers to the channel, guys. So don't let me down on that. Hit that like button. And also, guys, I'm doing a gift card giveaway when I hit 2,500 subscribers. So go on and put your name in the pot now. Thanks again for coming now. Much love to you all. Smooches to you, smooches.